Chapter 8. A Hobby. After breakfast, I rinsed the conditioner out of my hair and went down to the makeup store to get a hobby. They hired me on the spot. Today was my first official workday. They couldn't provide a full-time position, but agreed to hire me on, to work a couple hours per week. I was mainly stocking shelves and learning the layout of the store. I was casually arranging moisturizers when an older lady came up and tapped me on the shoulder. I turned around and she was writing on a pad. "Yes, ma'am. Are you looking for something?" She didn't answer. She just kept writing. After a few seconds, she had a whole paragraph for me to read. She told me that no one would help her and that she was looking for a makeup palette for her daughter. I grabbed her hand and led her to the newest display case. "Are you deaf?" "I don't know any sign language," I mouthed, trying to accentuate every word. She wrote on her pad telling me that she reads lips and that she was very grateful for my help. "You're welcome. Have fun picking something and have a great day," I said before walking away. For the next few days, I was severely struggling with Joey's absence, school, and work. I really just wanted a break. Joey's letters were the only thing that kept me from going out of my mind. When I wrote him back, I always conveniently left out the fact that I got a job. I only made $100 on my first paycheck and spent most of it on new makeup. The body pillow that I'd put Joey's shirt on was starting to lose his scent. I was very tempted to purchase a sex toy I saw at the mall the other day. It was a small vibrator covered in purple silicone. I didn't buy it because somehow it felt like I would be cheating on Joey. I checked out a digital book from the school library last week on sign language and would study it whenever I had free time. I found lots of videos on the internet and would try to teach myself some key phrases in ASL. I was so proud of myself for the words that I'd learned. One evening while I was at work, I felt someone tap my shoulder. It was the deaf woman that I'd helped last week. She waved to me and I waved back. I attempted to sign my name, but it felt like everything I'd learned over the last couple weeks went right out of my head. I had a whole conversation planned out, and now the only thing I could remember how to sign was half of the letters in my damn name. I had so much prepared in case you came back, and now I forgot. I told her, ashamed of myself. She was writing on her pad when a younger girl walked up and stood next to her. She put her hand on the woman's shoulder. When she looked up, they started signing to each other, and I was completely lost. The hand gestures went on for about 2 minutes, and I just stood there watching, fascinated.
"Hi, my name is Jade,"
she said, turning toward me. "Oh, hi, I'm sorry, I wasn't sure if you were deaf too," I said awkwardly.
"No, I'm hearing,"
she said as she signed the words. "That is so interesting. Can you teach me?"
"You want to learn ASL?"
Everything she would say out loud to me, she also signed. "Yes, I would love to learn. Why do you sign when you talk to me, though?"
"I'm a coda,"
she said, finger-spelling it. "What is a coda?" I asked, intrigued.
"A coda is a child of a deaf adult, so I sign everything, out of habit."
"Was ASL your first language?" She shook a closed fist up and down, bending at the wrist. "Does that mean yes?" I asked, trying to copy her.
"Yes,"
she said, repeating the sign. "What's your name?" I asked her.
"What's your name?"
She signed it back to me to see. "I'm sorry, I need more practice. My name is Haley." She looked at her mom and said my name as she finger-spelled it.
"My name is Jade, and this is my mother, Meredith. She told me that you helped her last time. Thank you."
"Oh, you're welcome."
"You're welcome,"
she said with an open hand facing sideways and tapped her thumb to her chest. "Does that mean you're welcome?"
"Technically, no, but it works in this situation,"
she explained. We exchanged numbers that day and started calling each other regularly. I found out that she also goes to my school and that her and her mom live in the apartment complex right next to mine. Between classes, we would sit outside and Jade would teach me more signs. After a few days, I actually got pretty good at signing certain words. Jade would come over and study at my place, or I'd go to hers and hang out with her and Ms. Meredith. While I was at work one evening, I couldn't stop thinking about Joey. I suddenly remembered that it had been a couple days since I talked to him on the phone, and that made me a little sad. Only a few more days until he gets home. I can't wait to feel his body. I thought about his kisses and was suddenly very horny. Nothing exciting happened at work that night, and I went home to study, per usual. Studying didn't last long, so I got up and marked an X on the calendar for today and went to bed. All that night I tossed and turned. I chalked it up to being anxious for Joey's arrival. My stomach was hurting because I was hungry, but I didn't want to get out of bed. I woke up starving the next morning and made myself some biscuits and sausage gravy. While I was eating, I thought about how my mom used to make it for me and started to cry. I couldn't finish my breakfast and didn't want to be alone, so I walked over to Jade's house. I planned to just hang for a bit and get out of my own head. My homework for the week was done, and I had a few hours to spare. It was also just nice to have somewhere to go when I didn't want to sit in my apartment, alone. Ms. Meredith answered the door and motioned for me to come in. When she shut the door, I could smell the pungent aroma of lemon from where I stood. She knocked on Jade's door, and Jade came out with a smile and hugged me. It made me miss Hannah. When we sat at the dining table, I blurted, "It's so nice that you and your mom are close."
Yes, it's always just been the two of us. I could move out, but I don't want her to be alone.
That's nice.
Yes, she's my best friend. Where's your mom?
The loaded question had me on edge, but I spilled the beans and told her everything that had happened. "I don't really talk to her anymore," I said to close out the story.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know.
It's okay. It is what it is.
Well, you mentioned your husband should be coming back soon. That's exciting.
Yes, I miss him so much. He's an amazing man. I fingerspelled the name Joey and smiled like an idiot.
Speaking of guys, I have to tell you about this guy I met yesterday.
Let's hear it, I said, turning towards her to give her my undivided attention. While Jade was describing the stage for her meet-cute moment, Ms. Meredith placed a plate of lemon cookies in the middle of the table for us, then sat down.
So I was in the library when this super hot guy came and sat down next to me.
Jade was saying, "I'm so sorry to cut you off, but where is your bathroom?" I suddenly felt nauseous and started to sweat. Jade pointed to the door next to her bedroom, and I jumped up so fast that I knocked the chair over. My stomach ached like I needed to go number 2, but when I got to the toilet, it came out the other end. Biscuits and gravy spewed all over the bowl and seat. I unraveled toilet paper and tried my best to wipe it up. I flushed the toilet and splashed water on my face. I was suddenly burning up. I walked out of the bathroom. Ms. Meredith and Jade were still sitting at the table, but both of them were looking in my direction. "I'm sorry, I think I'm coming down with a bug or something." Jade looked at her mom, and then Ms. Meredith stood up. She did some signs that I wasn't familiar with, interlocking her fingers in front of her. "I don't know that sign," I said in ASL.
Not surprising it means pregnant.
Jade announced. "Oh, no, 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 no." I shook my head and made the hand gesture for no. Jade got up from the table, and Ms. Meredith walked over and pointed at me, then put her pointer finger to her lips. "Am I sure?" "Of course I'm sure. Joey's been gone for over 3 months now, and I have a period every month."
Why don't we go to the store and get you a test? That way you can be 100% sure.
Jade offered. "Okay, I will do it just so your mom doesn't worry." When we got back from the store, I drank what felt like my body weight in water, and for the first time in my life, I peed on a stick. "You're going to have to make me some brownies for this," I signed to Ms. Meredith. Coincidentally enough, after a few minutes, the results on the first test were inconclusive. Stupid, cheap test, I thought, as I tossed it in the bin. I peed on the second one and waited another 2 minutes. I was able to breathe easy again when it read negative. I walked back home before it got dark because going through the alley behind the 2 complexes at night freaked me out. I walked into my empty apartment and decided that I should take a nice, relaxing bath. I was drawing the water when I heard my phone ringing from the living room. My supervisor was calling to see if I could work tonight. Apparently, someone called out, so they needed the extra help.